We are touching the hearts of our seniors for the 12 Days of Goodness on the Answers for Elders podcast network. Get to know what we're up to this season of 2021.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio. And we are here again with the adult children of the late, amazing, unique hero, dedicated Seahawk, Husky, and Baltimore, or it used to be Indianapolis Colts, but it was Baltimore when he first went, wasn't it? Colt, Nesby, Glasgow. And we are here to talk about an amazing award that will be given this coming Wednesday by Steve Rabel and Nesby's, some of Nesby. I think you're all going to be there at the event. And we're going to be giving the award to someone who has made tireless sacrifices in the care of a senior this past year. And as all of you know, our listeners, if you've been listening to the radio or on social media, we have had a campaign to nominate someone that is that unsung hero. And we all know somebody that has stepped out. I think about, there's a quote by Rosalind Carter about, in your life, you'll either become a caregiver, you'll be cared for, you'll know a caregiver, or you'll be, you'll have that, you'll have that connection to a caregiver at some time in your life, whether you become that person or you're cared for by someone else. And I know, Nesby, you're in right now in healthcare, and you've been through a pandemic. Right now, give us a background of what's been going on in the healthcare world since you're with Evergreen Hospital.
A lot of stress has been put on hospitals across, not just Washington, but across, the countries and across the world. This, pandemic has put a lot of people in the hospital. It's put a lot of stresses on nurses, doctors, just and just families. Like, it's very, very hard because, if you do have someone in the hospital, it's very hard just to visit. You can't really just, everybody can't visit. And even in somebody when they're at the end of their passing, it's still not, everybody can't just come in and say bye. It's, it's sometimes done on video, which is that's very hard. And just it's really just put, I guess, a lot of people in it's actually opened a lot of people's eyes on just what I guess like how much people really are needed, like how much help really is needed around, just like I said, just the world. Like, hey, this pandemic is letting people know that, hey, we need to come together, we need to do everything we can to pull through this.
The thing is I think about the time your father passed away. I think about, for you, the first thing I thought of is, wow, he passed away about the time that the pandemic, hit ground zero. What a time that must have been for you in your life, Nesby. I can't even imagine how overwhelming, between, people dying around you with the pandemic, but also losing your father at the same time. That had to have been absolutely monumental for you.
It was definitely, I mean, like for all of us, it was definitely a hard time. Just with his passing, and then just handling the funeral. We couldn't handle it normally. You couldn't, we weren't even sure when we were going to be able to do a funeral, and we couldn't invite his whole,
I remember
from the beginning, he has a big family. We couldn't have everyone there. We could not have, especially during the beginning, they were just like, hey, I think they were only going to have like 3 of us, and eventually we got at least enough to have I think about 6 of us go, but that's still not to what not everybody got to go. We did it on live stream, which is, it was something that's okay, but it's like we wished everybody could have been there, and
absolutely
to say their
I
goodbye.
wish and I remember getting the invite on social media, and I signed up immediately. I wanted to go because of what he meant to the world, but really what he meant to our seniors. They would light up when he would walk in the room. I mean, he had that essence of, I'm here for you. And like we talked about earlier about this ability to have presence. And I think one of the things when I thought about how could we honor Nesby, and it was really kind of I always kind of had something like that in the back of my mind. But then when this pandemic hit and I've started hearing the stories of healthcare workers, but also unpaid family caregivers that lost their jobs or that were, taking care of a senior, post COVID or any sort of things like that. It is an amazing, overwhelming job that is oftentimes thankless. And usually that person that's doing it doesn't expect to be thank you. They just think it's part of life. And so obviously, in putting this award together, and with your help, we had nominations submitted, and the great thing about it is that this year's winner will be announced on the 22nd, and we will be live streaming it on NorbCam. So if you go on to YouTube and look up NorbCam and subscribe now, you will get the notification. But it'll be around the lunch hour on the 22nd, which I believe is a Wednesday, and we will be at the Ballard Northwest Senior Center doing this award, and Steve Rabel will be emceeing this. So we're very excited about that. A little bit about the award and really what the criteria is. And we certainly looked for, and Nicole and Brandon, you were very involved in this, but we looked for an individual that had really gone above and beyond. And we had initially thought about keeping it to just unpaid family caregivers, but then we realized that was really crazy because there's a lot of people that are in the industry that are caring for seniors that have gone above and beyond than their normal everyday job. And I think that's really what we tried to look at. Isn't that right, Brandon?
That's correct. Yeah.
So what was, without saying who won the award, what was the, I guess, what are the qualities that you looked for as we all voted for the recipient? What stuck out to you of the types of quality that person has?
The biggest thing was someone who is willing to sacrifice. And that was something big, I think that my dad embodied, like sacrificing, his time, or maybe, hey, something that he could be doing all this other stuff, but hey, let me go bring joy to somebody. Let me go help someone who actually needs it. That sacrifice is something that was super big, that we wanted to make sure that someone that was, sacrificing their time to give back to others, to in their lives,
Yeah. Nicole, what did you look for? What qualities?
Brandon a little bit stole mine. But I think also just someone who didn't give up, because that's part of it. Like, I've noticed that he's dedicated, like
that tireless.
That tirelessness.
Quality.
And I know it's so hard, I think, to be a caretaker tirelessly. But there are people who do it, and they do it by the, I don't know, they're just hanging on by a thread, but they're tirelessly there, and they're giving it their all because their heart is in it. And that's what it is. Like, my dad had a big heart, and so there's someone who conveyed that.
Yeah. And I think, it's amazing because I look for those qualities too, but I also look for somebody that did so, like you said, joyfully, cheerfully. Like, they don't even think that what they're doing is anything over and above what other people do. And then when you look at them and you're going, you're amazing. When you hear these stories of the sacrifices, I think, Brandon, what you said, it's overwhelming. And I am so excited that we will announce our winner this next Sunday, the 22nd. To all of our listeners, you have to hear the story of this individual. And I think that we have heroes. This is one person that's an example, but we have unsung heroes all throughout Greater Puget Sound. And I think the most important thing through this award is, yes, we acknowledge this one individual, but also we hope to influence each and every one of you, inspire you to find those individuals that you know that are going above and beyond, and just say thank you. Sometimes it's I thought of you and I just wanted to send you a bouquet of flowers, or I wanted to buy you a Starbucks card because of that. I want to take you to lunch and give you a break. I know for me, when I was caring for my mother, one of the things that I loved is I had a friend that said, I'm always here for you to vent with, vent to voice your frustrations, anything like that. And the thing that was really great is I had a friend that always helped me laugh in every situation, which was great. And so if I got into it with my mom, or I hit a stressful point, which we all do when we're caring for a loved one, you know what? I could just say, Mom, I'm going to go take a walk around the block. I'll be back. And I would call my friend and we would laugh and I would tell stories and I'd come back with this renewed attitude. And I think I am so grateful to the world around us when we have community. And I think that's one of the things I think that we've all had with Nesby's. We've experienced Nesby, the community, quote unquote, organizer that he was, because he was all about finding ways to bring joy, finding ways to bring better quality of life to others. And wouldn't you guys agree with that one?
Wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So to each and every one of you, we've got 1 minute left. We're excited about this award. And certainly I want to thank each and every one of you, Brandon and Nesby and Nicole, for being a part of this. I hope to be working with you for years to come, as every year we will be giving out this award to someone new. And we look forward to having amazing nominees next year as well. And as we give the award out, and it's going to be a pretty amazing program. And so thank you to each one of you for helping us put this program together.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And thanks for being on the show, for all three of you, as we do that, and wishing each and every one of you a wonderful and joyful holiday season. Take care, everyone, and be good to each other.
This podcast was brought to you by our sponsors, Humana and Care Partners. We are so grateful for your sponsorship, as well as all the senior providers that came forward to make our events happen over the 12 days of goodness. To each and every one of you, have a happy holiday season 2021.